Hey, do you use this safety equipment in your wood shop? You better. So this video will cover a lot of the personal protection equipment and also shop safety equipment that you should be using in your shop. In the comments below, tell us what you use. And don't forget to subscribe. So let's start with the obvious. Safety eyewear. Now, when I went to go order safety glasses, my prescription, they asked me, do you wear regular glass or polycarbonate? And I go, well, these are polycarbonate. They go, those are basic safety glasses. So in all the videos, I'm always using my prescription polycarbonate safety glasses. If you don't wear glasses in the shop, it is a must to wear safety glasses. And the reason I'm saying that, people say, well, I'm mixing paint, I'm pouring out stain or anything. That could get in your eye too. So always wear these. Be in the habit, when you walk into the shop, put safety glasses on. When I am working without my dust extraction system and it's heavy, heavy dust, predominantly my lathe, I will always wear these goggles. They fit over my safety glasses and they protect from the side so nothing gets in the way. And they just look cool. So, hearing protection. What? It's funny, but this is the one I stress the most in your shop because it's not the loud noises, it's the high-pitched noises that ruin your ears. I've always worn some form of hearing protection in my shop, okay? You can choose muffs or you can choose plugs. I prefer the plugs. I prefer these. I buy them in bulk and they're fantastic, and I'll show you. So, really quick tip on the muffs. They fit over the ear, not like this. I used to use what are known as shooter plugs. They're ribbed, and you just stick them in and they're made of plastic. I prefer these because these knock out a huge decibel range. But just don't stick them in your ear. What I like to do so they seat properly is I slightly pull them and I twist them so they fit really deep into the ear canal. And I just take it and plop it in. And then they will expand. And guess what? It'll eliminate almost all the noise. Not to be mistaken, these are noise cancellation AirPods from Apple. I use these every day I walk out into my shop. Does it knock out all the noise? No, but I can also listen to my favorite tunes with them, and I can also listen to what? My favorite audiobooks and also podcasts. Predominantly the Three Splinters podcast. So the way I would rate these, I would say these are good, these are better, but these are best, especially if you're using machinery in routers or all power tools. It knocks out those high pitches. Okay, so we covered what? Glasses, okay, obvious. 2, hearing. 3, one of the most obvious is working with a dust mask. There's fantastic ones and there's ones that are meh, and we all use these when? In 2020 during COVID. So let's cover respirators and let's make sure we do use these in the shop. This is an N95, okay? We're all familiar with these. You put them on, you pinch the nose bridge here, you put it on, and guess what? It, blocks out dust. Really? I truly believe the quality of a respirator is to make sure that it is sealed properly here on the side. And over time, these open up a little. We all know this because we all use them. It is not as effective as it should be. there's really two big factors for me. All right. First, it has to be comfortable, lightweight on the face, but also I don't want it to fog up my glasses. And there's also a third. I want to make sure I can use it for general purpose dust or eliminating particles going into my respiratory system, but also when I'm spraying finish, that there's actually cartridges for it that block out those dangerous fumes when your finish is off-gassing. I just picked this up about 6 months ago up in South Bend, go Irish, at Johnson's Workbench. Anthony said, Sedge, this mask is fantastic. It doesn't fog your glasses and it almost disappears on your face. I had 3M ones before when I was spraying, and I wanted to make sure that this seated properly. It's a good telltale sign because it doesn't fog up your glasses. I can use it for regular dust, particulate, but they also have cartridges for fumes. So this is the Pro Pack. I got it as a kit. You can see what it comes with here, but I've already assembled it with the dust particulate one. There's a pre-filter here. It's completely sealed around here. So this is the cartridge it came with. It comes with a few pre-filters, a couple packs of 5. It comes with these wonderful instructions, okay, but it also comes with the chemical cartridge. This is when you're spraying dangerous fumes. You always make sure it's the right fit. Once you set it, you can basically forget it, but you put it on like this. You take this and you put it up, and you gotta make sure it seats perfectly. So I've used this a few times in here when I was spraying some finish and running a few machines where I didn't capture all the dust. It's wonderful. One, it's light in weight and fits really tight to my face, so I don't have any what? Fogging. So here's one you may not have thought about. So I'm using the SedgeTool system, I'm using the CT dust extractor, and I'm capturing the lion's share, I would say 99% of the dust at its source. But what's going into my lungs is some of the finer particulate. And that sometimes I don't reach for what? My respirator. So what I do is I have this now in the SedgeTool shop. This is the high flow system of the Sys Air. It circulates the air several times in this shop. So it does a couple of things, and this is so important. Number one, it's really good for your health. It's a safety if you're not always wearing a respirator. But two, finishing, and you may scratch your head, what do you mean? That fine particulate that floats up into the air takes several hours to come down. And where does it come down? In your finish, okay? So the next time you have sanded, walk out in your shop 4 hours later and go like this, and you'll see that fine particulate that settles down. The Sys Air takes all of that out, and you have 2 settings, slow and high, and I suggest the high flow unit because it circulates it, but there's quicker or more, but also there is a HEPA version. So the next safety item that I'd be willing to bet you probably don't use, it's these right here, and it's these right here. So if you've watched almost every SedgeTool video, hopefully you have, I'm always wearing these. I don't walk out in the shop without a steel toe or a composite toe work boot. These I've had for quite some time. They're composite toe. I love them, okay? These are my summertime ones. I recently got these. These are Liberty boots, or they're Keen, and you know what I love about these? Yes, I get more support up on my ankle, but they are proudly made in the US of A. Early on in my woodworking career, I learned my lesson. I was using regular sneakers in my shop in Fort Lauderdale. And guess what happened? I dropped the board, okay? It crushed my big toe. So I swore from then on, and for 30 plus years, I've been wearing composite toes or steel toes in my shop. Another great thing to look for in a composite toe or steel toe boot is also a thick sole. This will eliminate a ton of fatigue in the shop. Okay, so this is one that might not be on your radar. It's nitrile gloves. I don't like the latex ones. I prefer nitrile. I used to get these at Harbor Freight. I get them on Amazon now because I don't want to waste the time. And these are fantastic. I use them for finishing. Okay, and it may be non-toxic, and they may tell you it doesn't leach into your hands, but guess what? It's better safe than sorry. So get yourself, when you are finishing, get yourself some nitrile gloves, and it'll save on the cleanup of your skin at the end. This is one that you've heard about and you thought, oh, maybe it's a shop myth. It is not. It has happened to me. Anytime I use an oil like this Rubio, I always take everything afterwards, after my finish is put on, and submerge it in a bucket of water. Whether it's application rags, more application to rub the finish in. And of course, with Rubio, you got to make sure it's completely wiped off. So when I'm finished doing all of that, they all get submerged overnight in a bucket of water. Because guess what? If you leave those bunched up in your shop through spontaneous combustion, they may light on fire. So this is a unbelievable good shop safety tip. And it's simple. It's a bucket of water. Hey, and including my gloves. Last but not least is any time I walk up to my table saw or my bandsaw, I make sure I have one of these. And they come in many different forms. Okay, they're known as push sticks and push blocks. These are very inexpensive to these. Anytime I am near an exposed blade, I have a push stick nearby. So when I walk up to my table saw and before I turn it on, I go like this and I make sure my push stick is nearby. A push stick is to push things through so your fingers don't get anywhere near that blade. Always have one ready nearby before you turn on the power. So as you can see, these are a lot less expensive than these. In other words, if you notice, I started with my push block first, okay, to keep pressure against the fence, but then I finished up with this, and you'll notice on here, I've cut this multiple times. I don't care. It's a lot less expensive and a lot of time saved running to the emergency room. Use push sticks. So hopefully this video made a lot of sense to you. It's so important to think of safety first in the wood shop. Of course, we always think about eye protection and hearing protection and breathing protection. But in this video, you saw a lot more tips and tricks to make sure that you can work a long time in your shop injury-free. And as we always, oh, wait a minute, time for a question. Hey, quick question. What is your favorite podcast? Do you listen to podcasts? And the other thing, while we're here, please subscribe. If you've been watching the SedgeTool channel and haven't subscribed, please do so. It keeps us going and it keeps us motivated. So as we always say at the end from the SedgeTool shop, be positive, stay sharp, and we mean wicked sharp.